Good morning, everyone. Welcome to round one of Grand Prix Barcelona. You are looking at José Luis Morales Carretero of Spain on the right against one of the most famous Spanish players of all time, Joe Calafell, also of Spain. He's on the left. A Grand Prix champion, Raf, 2009?
2009, piloting his Swans deck.
So,
Assault.
that's right, Seismic Assault and Swans of Bryn Argyle. That's how Calafell won that GP. Meanwhile, we are underway with Inspiring Vantage and Concealed Courtyard from Calafell. The first action of the day, it is a Heart of Kieran. 4-4, and we're going to see Jose Luis's first play. It's red, then black. Oh, so we're going to be on black, red, aggro. Calafell wants a read.
At first, I thought it was going to be a mirror match because Jose Luis had a Heart of Kieran in the hand as well. But no, it's not going to be that.
It is not. We're going to see black, red, aggro on the right of your screen for Jose Luis. So, TY Lauren says, oh, look, Mardu. Well, the thing is, of course we're going to see lots of Mardu. We are going to try and curate the feature match area for you as the day goes on. If we find fun and interesting decks away from the big 2 or 3, of course we will.
What's interesting is with the creature Jose Luis played, he will be able to play his Heart of Kieran next turn, and then activate a pilot, crew it with the 3/2 Eldrazi, and give it haste. So he will make up for the lost turn pretty much.
Right.
I think Jose Luis should be on 15, not 16, because thanks to the Motorist, the Heart of Kieran was a 5/5.
So Forerunner of Slaughter piles in, 3/2, devoid, can give a colourless creature haste until end of turn. And yes, life totals amended there for you, early in the morning. As the shock takes out the veteran motorist.
Echoel should be at 16. Unless he attacked. No, never mind, 17. He attacked with the
Just
Forerunner.
attack with the Forerunner.
Yeah.
Like we said, it's early.
Yeah, it's early.
If you're with us on the Twitch channel, make sure you join us in the chat room. Plenty of interesting discussion in there as always.
So Gideon hits the battlefield, and I believe he's gonna make a token and attack with the Heart of Kieran using the special crew ability.
Right, so that's the -1 on the Planeswalker loyalty.
Unless he decides not to do it, because a good reason not to do it would be if Joel wants to play around Unlicensed Disintegration. So Jose Luis attacks with a Forerunner, and no, he crews the Heart of Kieran.
So is the advantage to being straight black red aggro rather than Mardu just about the mana base, or is there like compelling other reasons to be playing it?
The Forerunner might be a reason. There's also a black red creature in the last set, 3/3 for 3. I will remember
Fast Engineer.
Yeah,
and gives +2 to the artifact. Yeah.
And don't bother with the double white of Gideon. But Gideon is a very strong card. So it's the mana base is better, but you have access to cards that are not as good. So now Joel is thinking about the Unlicensed Disintegration. if he activates, if he crews the Heart of Kirin with the Gideon, Jose Luis will be able to unlicense the Disintegration Net. Probably not redirecting the damage to Gideon, because the attacking Heart of Kirin is gonna destroy it anyway.
So, Tupul San in the chat says, this reeks of disintegration. And I know what he means, because you look on the right-hand side there, there's 3 mana, there's both the colours. Do you just assume any time you're playing against someone who is clearly on that deck that they just have it? Is that the default position, that I am ready, that you have unlicensed disintegration because of course you do? So Gideon's going to bite the dust with the redirect.
So he did. I don't know who he attacked with. Who he attacked at all. So he decided to deal the damage to Gideon, and therefore the Heart of Kirin didn't deal damage this turn. So he could have attacked Gideon, used the 3 damage to him, to Joel instead.
Yeah.
And like deal 3 more damage this turn. I don't think that's what he did.
Okay.
But in Joel's seat, there was not much you could do against unlicensed disintegration. Like, there was no way to play around it. If he had it, he could have just used it and killed Gideon. Well, not even, because the Heart of Kirin was attacking Gideon already.
Right. So
Gideon was going to die, and there was no way around it.
Thanks for being patient at home as we tried to fix the glare. I think that's a lot better now. Lot better for you. Lot better for us as well, as Scrap Heap Scrounger, Heart of Kirin and Token for Joel Calafel faces off against Forerunner of Slaughter and Heart of Kirin for Jose Luis Morales Carretero. We always get a question when we start in round 1. Why don't you get to choose what decks you put into the feature match area? And very simply, the answer is that the deck lists are only just being collected by the judges 5 or 10 minutes before we go live. There's no way to go through many hundreds of deck lists before we get live. So it's not until usually about round 3 that we start to get a sense of what decks are around, and the cool decks the little stories of people start to filter through the building of, oh, by the way, I lost to some 5-color this deck, or mono black control, or whatever it turns out to be. So Calafel at 17, Carretero at 9, as we see the Ethersphere Harvester, 3/5 chance for lifelink. And there you see Carretero. JLMC, it's a bit of a mouthful. We'll just settle for Jose. Metatron Prime, you asked, what did we do? Did we dim the lights? Dimming the lights in a convention center is unbelievably hard to do. It is the bane of our existence, I can promise you. No, what we did is we moved some umbrellas around, basically, and found some thicker covering to get rid of a skylight, is basically what it amounts to. Yesterday, it was fine. Different weather outside, different angles, different time of day, sunlight, all that kind of stuff. But we are now well and truly, hopefully you can all see what's going on. What you see is almost a mirror, as we do see the World Fast Engineer come down for Jose Luis. And as you say, Ralph, that's one of the reasons to play the deck.
It's actually not that much of a mirror. Like, the difference makes a big, like, not having Gideon in the red-black is huge against different decks.
Right. No, I just meant mirror in terms of they both got Heart of Kirin, they both got a Scrap Heap Scrounger and so on. Yeah.
So the last turn was crucial for Joel. I'm going to call him Joel, not with the Spanish accent from now on.
That's fine. Joel?
Joel, yeah. Because if he had anything in hand to deal with the Harvester, then he would have attacked, he would have kept on.
Boom.
Well, putting pressure on.
But
he had something, indeed.
Didn't he just? Archangel Avacyn comes down. Oh, wow.
So, Archangel Avacyn, for a while, it was just forgotten.
Right.
No one laid... at the last GP, I played right into it. I didn't think it was a card. My opponent like passed the turn with 5 mana open. Like, oh well,
Didn't matter.
Oh well, I'm just attacking.
Uh-huh.
Oh, I'm just killing this guy. And he had Avacyn. I was like, oh man, I just forgot about that creature.
So if you're forgetting about it in chat, creatures you control gain indestructible until end of turn, and when a non-angel creature you control dies, you transform Archangel Avacyn at the beginning of the next upkeep. What that does, she turns into Avacyn the Purifier, and when she transforms, 3 damage to each other creature and each opponent. But the important bit of all that is creatures you control gain indestructible until end of turn.
So that was a huge swing here.
Right.
Jose Luis lost his Harvester and his Scrappy Scavenger.
Yeah, he gained himself the 3 life by spending 1 energy. You see he's got 1 energy left over there, but puts him up to 12. So 13-12 here in game 1 of round number 1. A couple of British players also in the feature match area in round 1. Tom Hall's up against Emilio Loizaga of Spain. And Ben Coleman from Nottingham is up against Sergio Lopez Martin, again from the home team. So 3 Spaniards kicking us off on their home GP turf here in Barcelona.
So this is what happens between Red Black and Mardu. Red Black has these very aggressive creatures, but they don't quite match Gideon and Avacyn. If Joel manages to stabilize the first couple of turns, which is actually which is not that hard. Like he's gonna take over the game. Like in a way, Jose Luis will not come back.
Right. It's kind of like Joel's playing with rares and mythics that are at the very peak of constructed, and Jose Luis is playing uncommons that are signposts for draft archetypes.
Yeah, pretty much.
That's not to knock the deck choice, because I'm sure Black Red's perfectly fine, but you do definitely see a difference. I'm going to go Forerunner of Slaughter into Weldfast Engineer, and okay, well, you win those 2 turns. I'm going to go Gideon into Archangel Avacyn. Yes.
It kind of feels like a limited game when your opponents had all the rares. Like, oh no, he had this also.
Right.
Oh man.
What, you had Gideon and Avacyn?
And
How
Avacyn.
lucky.
I got a 3/2 for 2.
Yeah.
Gives haste, it's fine, but...
Yeah.
And now Avacyn's going to transform if Jose Luis decides to block the Scrounger. Well, in any case, Avacyn's going to flip here.
Right, so 3 to each opponent, 3 to each creature.
Transform.
Yeah, that's all right. You made up for it by calling him Joel repeatedly, so...
Oh, yeah. Well,
that was very good. So, there is Avacyn the Purifier. And that is going to do all kinds of wipeage. As we like to say, it may be an uphill battle from here for Jose in game 1.
in response, he's going to crew the heart.
Yeah.
So the heart take 3 damage.
Right. Now, we presume Joel doesn't have a shock to finish off the Heart of Kieran at that.
Yet still a 6/5, still flying.
Are there any pros playing, asks Goblib Guy 01. It's like a goblin guy with a cold. Yes, lots of pros playing. Lots of people with 3 buys. Includes Tom Martell, as Legit Advice mentioned. Lucas Blahon's here, Marco Camilluzzi of Italy. Portugal's reigning world #1, Marcio Carvalho. From France, Pierre Dajon, Jeremy Dezani. Martin Dang of Denmark's here. Antonio Del Moral Leon. Javier Dominguez, the 2 front-running Spanish players of modern times. You'd expect both of them to be here, and they are. Even Flock's here. Thomas Hendricks, Martin User. From Poland, Gregor Kowalski. As you see, Jose Luis deep in the tank, waiting to see whether he is in fact dead. Tom Martell, as I mentioned. Andrea Mengucci from Italy. Niels Norlander, Mattia Rizzi. The Czech pair, Petr Sahurek, Andrei Strasky here. From Japan, quite a few Japanese players here actually. Yuta Takahashi is here, and Alexa Telerov there amongst the 3-by players. But we have game 1 safely in the bag for Mardu. If you're keeping score this weekend, quite a lot of games are going to get won by Mardu. Joel Calafel leads by 1-0 over Jose Luis Morales Carretero. Well, we'll keep you in touch with the other games that are going on in the feature match area. Reminder that Riley Knight and Matej Zatelkai, the rest of our commentary team, Richard Miller in the booth, and Stephen Leeming taking care of business over in the feature match area. So Tom Hull against Emilio Loizaga looks like they're heading towards game number 2. And over on table 3, Sergio Lopez Martin is up against Ben Coleman. Not the northeast Ben Coleman from Geordieland, as he describes it, but Ben Coleman of Nottingham is playing in round number 1. So there you see the feature match area. Far end, you've got Joel Calafel against Jose Luis Morales Carretero. The middle table, as I say, shuffling for game 2. Everyone's shuffling. I think that sounds like a song. Where have I heard that before? Anyway, on the left-hand side, you see Sergio Lopez Martin, and with his back to us is Ben Coleman.
You never made the shuffling clown.
Oh, that's for my stream.
For your stream?
Little Rich the Shuffling Clown. That's coming. Yes.
2 years ago, he talked to us about this shuffling clown. When everybody's shuffling in the feature match and we have nothing to show, then we see Rich.
Little Rich the Shuffling Clown.
Shuffling clown, yeah.
Yeah. Yes, it would have been extremely useful right now. Because everybody is shuffling. If you want to see Little Rich the Shuffling Clown, feel free to tune in to twitch.tv/MTGRich sometime in the future. He's very camera shy, which is problematic when you want to make videos. Some things are better left in the grave, says Eb Dorian. So yeah, Tom Martell's here this weekend, which is great that he's going to be here. I think he's here on business, but has managed to get himself into the GP a couple of days off, so that'll be fun. I can tell you that Matej Big-Z Zatelkai is in the building and gearing up. He'll be in harness with me in round number 2. And just to give you a little heads up, not a ton of players with 1 bye, but the people that we're expecting to see come in, we're going to see David Brooker, who made it all the way to the top 8 of the Grand Prix last week. We're going to see Esther Trujillo in the feature match area. Now, Esther is pretty much the best female player in Spain and has been for a long time. She's pretty decent at Magic for sure. So she has 1 bye and will be with us in the feature match area next round. And we're also going to see from Moscow, Sergei Sushalsky of the Russian Federation. 3 Grand Prix top 8s for him, played on the World Magic Cup team, I think last year, if memory serves. Someone else who certainly played their part in the history of the World Magic Cup, sitting beside him, Mr. Rafael Levy, lifted the trophy.
That was so long ago. Do that again.
It was a while, that is true.
I'm excited to see David Brooker again on the Grand Prix circuit.
So, you are obviously the oldest of old school pros. I couldn't believe when I talked to him a couple of weeks ago. David Brooker, by the way, in case you weren't with us in Utrecht 2 weeks ago, he made the Grand Prix top 8. He was the European Magic champion in 2002. So, we're talking really old school. He was saying that he had played something like 20-some Pro Tours and that 18 of them had been limited. And he'd played like 3 constructed Pro Tours. That's almost unimaginable now in this world where everything is mixed and you always have to be the master of every discipline. But there were people who just barely touched 60-card formats and would just they went around making their living from being great at 40.
I talked to him a little bit. I said, "Oh, are you back now? Like, have you been playing some Magic?" Like, yeah, I've been taking a break and now I'm back in it. I've been playing a lot, so it's not I usually don't play that much, but for these tournaments, I've been playing quite a bit. So I expect him to do quite well because he's an actual gifted player.
Right. Yes, he's very, very good. So here's Holguin Loizaga against Tom Hull. 4-colour Sahili against Mardu Vehicles. It's 1-0 to the Brit, Tom Hull, who's played on the English, not World Magic Cup team, but the national team.
This is not Mardu
No,
Vehicles.
this is not Mardu Vehicles, indeed.
Forest does not. Mardu
No.
Vehicles does not have Forest.
No, they did have it. This is maybe we're the other way around.
I think it's Sahil.
Yeah, it's the other way around, so we'll get that fixed for you. The archetypes are the other way around. 4-colour Sahili is on the left of your screen for Loizaga, and Mardu Vehicles on the right for Tom Hull, with Spire of Industry and Concealed Courtyard right now. Raf Levy is with me in the booth. There we go. No, that's better. So Loizaga is on the right with Mardu Vehicles as Tom Hull reaches out, returns something to its natural state. The Heart of Kiran goes away. 1 energy from that Ether Hub. Got a Harness Lightning in hand there. Quite a lot of land. And just a Thraben Inspector, or as you say in France, Raph, très bien, Inspector.
Yeah, but that's about
was
how
pretty close.
you don't say it.
Ah,
Yeah,
good,
yeah.
good, excellent. Apparently I don't have a clue, unlike Holguin Loizaga, who does have a clue. See what I did there?
Also, that's the shuffling clown is actually here.
Thank you. Well, no, just the clown, right?
Just the
Just
clown,
the clown. Scrap Heap Scrounger for Loizaga.
Historically, was short. Like in the last couple of months, this
Mhm.
matchup has not gone very well for Sahili. So that's why I'm not like this is surprising to me that this deck is still around and still doing very well.
Is it not because people just love the idea that no matter how far behind you are, this is what we saw at the Magic Online Championships for sure, you have one half of the combo in play, and then you're always seem to be drawing live for, okay, I've drawn a Glimmer of Genius, can I find something on the top? Look, there's my Felidar Guardian, kill you from nowhere.
This is a good feeling for sure, but it's not as powerful as like it could be.
Right.
Against Mardu, having half of the combo in play is not going to be like you draw the second half and you win because they have answers, they have shock, they have disintegrate and license disintegration. They can run walking ballista. So you're not always halfway there when you have half the combo in play.
So passing the turn with Veteran Motorist plus the Thraben Inspector. Scrap Heap Scrounger's bitten the dust for now off the Harness Lightning. But Hull had to spend the energy off the Ether Hub to get his red mana, so the fact he's then spent 2 of the 3 on Harness Lightning leaves him at that same 1 energy. So a little constrained on mana. He's got an Oath of Chandra there, by the looks of things, on the right of
He also has a Sky Ship as well.
yeah, the Consulate Sky Sovereign.
Sky Sovereign, yes.
Sky Sovereign Consulate Flagship. Which is just so... I mean, literally battlecruiser magic. So they seem to be pretty much in the early stages of this. It's Holguin Loizaga who leads 1-0. We'll have to confirm that that's true. But let's head back to our main match. It's Joel Calafel against Jose Luis Morales Carretero. So we're going to head back over there. They are just about ready to rock and roll. So there you see Calafel and Carretero getting down to it. And we are in business. Scrap Heap Scrounger on the right for Morales. Calafel with Heart of Kiran. And Raf, what we saw in Game 1 was that Jose Luis really wants to be the aggressor because eventually Gideon comes down and Avacyn and bad things happen. So this is already a bad board looking at for Carretero.
Unless he changed his plan, which is possible. I don't know if there's a way Black-Red can go big.
become the control deck in this matchup? It seems hard because presumably Calafel... we don't have deck lists in round one because the judges are still collating those, but presumably Calafel has access not only to Gideon but also to Chandra, Torch Defiance. You can end with a lot of Planeswalker loyalty on board.
I'm not saying that's the good plan. I'm saying that's the only plan that would favor Jose Luis right now because he's like not having a super fast draw.
Right. He took out Heart of Kieran with Fatal Push, which is obviously a fine use of Fatal Push. Calafel also has a Shambling Vent there on the battlefield, which at some point can repair some life. That's also not particularly good news for Karatero. In comes the Scrap Heap Scrounger. So that's going to send the life total the other way. 3 damage goes in the other way. Not Calafel to 17, I don't believe.
Calafel is probably in 14. Jose Luis in 17.
Okay, right. They've got there to the right place now. Another Scrap Heap Scrounger for Calafel. And just to confirm that it's 1-0 to Joel Calafel here, not 0-0.
Another. If he keeps playing Unlicensed Disintegration and removal on the blockers, he might have an out. But now Joel is at 8 with Shambling Vent, maybe to gain 2 more life at some point and beating for 6 damage every turn.
Yeah, I mean, he's going to have to be careful because those Scrap Heap Scroungers, they're invisible on the back end.
So Joel has a Sky Sovereign in hand, but he cannot play it yet because he only has 4 lands. So he just has to survive.
Smash. And Jose Luis says, yeah, I'll take all that.
If he decides to...
that's interesting.
He has one.
Yeah, so the Unlicensed Disintegration not only gets rid of an attacker, but leaves Jose Luis without any artifacts right now, which means his own Unlicensed Disintegration is no longer a burn spell at the moment.
And he doesn't have a creature in the graveyard to
return?
Yeah, to return it.
So here's Forerunner of Slaughter, which is slightly a bit of a flavor fail since it didn't happen before all the other stuff. But he's going to give it to itself haste and come in, and that puts Joel back in trouble, down to 5. But Jose Luis is at 8 as well. Is this going to be 2-0 for Calafel?
Feels like the red-black deck has a little bit of a bombo in the deck. The 3/3, I always forget the name.
The World Fast Engineer?
The Engineer and the Forerunner of Slaughter. Feels a little bit like they should match better.
Right.
Because the Engineer gives +2/+0 to an artifact.
Yep.
And this is not an artifact, even though it doesn't have a color. Feels like it could have been so much better, but it's not.
So just to confirm, it is still 1-0 to Joel Calafel here, not 0-0 as our life bar shows you. Sorry, Jose Luis fans.
See, Unlicensed Disintegration does not deal 3 this time because it's not an artifact.
Yeah. A non-bow, as we say.
A non-bow. This is not a bombo. Non-bow.
A bombo?
Yeah, that's what I always thought it was. I thought bombo. Yeah, I thought it was like this.
A non-bow.
A non-bow?
Because it would be a combo,
yeah,
but it's the opposite of a combo. It's a non-bow. There's Jose Luis Morales Caratero shaking the hand of Joel Calafel. One of the best Spain's ever produced. Begins with a win to get us going. And it magically goes from 0-0 to 2-0 because Joel Calafel has won his round. So well done to him. Almost instantly, everything gets reset, but Calafel advances to 1-0. So we'll see where else we can go, and where else we can go is Tom Hull against Holgin Loazaga. So let's see how the board has progressed. Well,
Skyship's on the board.
yeah, the Sky Sovereign is down, plus Walking
Sovereign.
Ballista with 2 counters for Tom Hull with the 4-colour Sahili deck, and Thraben Inspector, Veteran Motorist on the right for Holgen Loizaga.
So now Tom can add a counter to his Walking Ballista, and then he can crew the Sky Sovereign.
Nice. That's a nice, yes, and so there he is saying, that's what I want to do.
With a counter backup, with a negate. So now he can even protect it.
I'll draws land. 1 energy still.
He found the mountain to actually cast his red spells.
Right, yeah, I was going to say the 1 energy is not that big a deal right now, because although he has 2 Ether Hub and only 1 energy, he does now have a mountain. We saw the very beginning of this game a little while ago. Worth noting the graveyard top right for Loizaga. He's got a Scrap Heap Scrounger in there, so at some point we can expect that that may come back.
Just to clarify, I remember why we called it a bombo. Because if the combo explodes in your hands, it's a bombo.
Oh, you were going B-O-M-B. You see, I assumed you were going B-O-M, and it was to do with Bazaar of Moxen.
Oh, no.
Ah.
No.
Okay. Here is Sahili Rai for Tom Hull.
There's no good target to clone.
Right.
Copy.
No, so it's just going to be a scry. Raf is right here, and yes, we're both trying to take a look, Andre C94, at the chat as we try and keep an eye on the matches for you as well. It's a little bit disconcerting trying to do both, but we do like to keep things nice and interactive here on Twitch /magic.
It's a little too late for Marty to do anything here.
Mm-hmm.
Because Gideon is not doing much anymore. The Sky Sovereign can just attack it and just take it down. There's Tom has a negate in hand. So there's not actually a lot that Tom is scared of. And he has many angles. He can attack Holgen. So I'm sorry, I'm butchering his name, but there's not. He has a lot of angles of attack. He can attack with the Sky Sovereign. He can just pump the Ballista. He can just wait to get the combo. There's just a lot he can do, and Holgen had to think about that. Okay, about all that. And the Fielder Guardian isn't. He just drew the Fielder Guardian with the negate backup. So there's gonna be a lot of things Holgen will have to do to come back in this game. He has Oath of Chandra, so the first blink from the Guardian can just blink the Oath. And get rid of a Motorist. Oh yeah, or just the Sky Sovereign. I guess blinking the Oath would be a better option, since like he would keep the option to attack with the Sky Sovereign. Yeah, there's no reason to not do it. He needs 2 removal. This one's going to be negated.
Yep, so Unlicensed Disintegration, negate from Hull, Loizaga.
He does
has
have
a second one.
He does have a shock.
Has the shock.
So he doesn't die right away, but he's still in a world of trouble.
Sure.
Because the Feather Guardian is still around.
I mean, it's a lot better than the actual dead he was about to be.
But that was... The Holgen could have played it the other way around.
Okay.
Since he could have shocked first and killed Sahili, so that would have meant negate. But then if he plays, he has the disintegration in hand and the clue. So if the shot gets negated, then he can play the Enlightened Disintegration to kill the Guardian and Saheeli. Now the Guardian is still around, and if Saheeli comes back, then he's still dead. Or we will need another removal.
Right.
So that's the thing.
So Loizaga buys back his Scrap Heap Scrounger, not literally using the ability buyback, for those of you who were around that long ago, which both of us were.
And also last turn, if he had blinked the Oath of Chandra instead of the Sky Sovereign, he could have attacked with the Sky Sovereign and tapped the Ballista, because the Sky Sovereign cannot block now because it doesn't have enough creatures to crew it.
Yep.
So he missed 3 damage here. That's a Thalia?
Yeah, it is. That's the Heretic Cathar. So non-basic lands, creatures opponents control going to come into play tapped. So that's a guard against the combo. We've seen Authority of the Consuls played quite a lot, Raf, as a way to deal with that, because, of course, the Felidar Guardian, the copies that get made when you blink with Saheeli, they all have haste, but they all go away at the end of turn, and if they all come into play tapped, doesn't help. Whirler Virtuoso in hand for Tom Harl, who's going to start employing that mode, but
it's tapped.
It is.
Yeah, I think he wanted to play to crew the Sky Sovereign and kill Thalia, so his tokens would be untapped.
So Whirler Virtuoso, if we can tell the feature match area, comes into play tapped because of Thalia.
Yeah.
Yeah, so no, they need to stop the match there. Stop the match for them before all this goes on. That's not how that works.
I think he
right.
Like for Saheeli players, Thalia just only stops the combo. Oh yeah, that's a good card against your combo, but doesn't do anything else. Well, it does something else. It still locks down your creatures when they come into the battlefield.
So they seem...
So the other thing he could have done was kill Thalia with the Walking Ballista.
Right.
Crew the ship. No, kill the Thalia.
Right.
Play his Virtuoso, make a token, crew the Sky Sovereign, attack with both. So that would have been 7 damage instead of 6. That's just an extra damage, but not that relevant. But since Scrap Heap Scoundrel cannot block.
Ballista going up to 4 counters now. And as you said, a world of pain here, Raf. I can tell you, incidentally, that Sergio Lopez, Martin and Ben Coleman are finished. Saw them both walking off, but both looking relatively stony-faced, so I don't have a result for you on the old body language check as they left. But this is the last match in the feature match area. For those of you who didn't see the Magic Online Championship last weekend, that's how we're going to spend the early part of our morning between rounds, replaying a titanic battle between Josh Utter-Leighton and Lucas Blohon. You'll see a little bit of that after this round. Scoop up the permanents.
Just before he scoops, I really like the mountain, the Ice Age mountain.
Is that where it was from,
yeah,
Ice Age?
I think it was a...
Wow.
I like the choice of basic lands. Yeah, oh, that's another one. A different Ice Age one.
So... hopefully they're heading for game 3, and we had the scoreboards the right way around. Someone just put in a result slip there and was like, no, that's a bit previous. Yeah, we are going to game 3, so we'll get to show you some more live Magic here in round 1. Matej Zadelkai will be sitting beside me for round number 2, where we'll see David Brooker in action. Esther Trujillo will be in the feature match area, as will Sergei Sushalsky of the Russian Federation. That's going to be our round 2 slate of matches. Some terrific players lined up for round number 3 and 4. The best pros in the game, of course, have 3 buys. Raf, how's your season going? How are things going in terms of, progressing towards whatever it is, silver, gold, platinum? Where are you at the moment?
I have 27, 28. I think it's 27 points.
Okay.
So I'm missing 1 point for gold. So
Okay.
half season, so it's
So
it's
comfortably
it's
gold.
comfortable for now.
Uh-huh.
Just first try to reach that gold level first. That's the first step. Just in
Mhm.
case some half season can go really wrong. You don't score a point ever.
Right.
Then you're stuck with
Mhm.
silver. And if the next PTs go well, try to reach platinum.
So Harl on the left and Loizaga on the right, playing the classic matchup. 4-color Sahili against Mardu vehicles. Yes, we're going to see plenty of it. Now, one deck that I do hope we see, and you actually played against this, Raf, a couple of weeks back in Utrecht, Roy van der Erve of the Netherlands. If you saw on the stream, we had him on a couple of times. He was in contention through to about round 13. And he was playing a turbo fog deck. And he played you. What happened? Well, what were you on in Utrecht first
So
of
I
all?
was on a 4-color tower.
Okay.
I played a feature match. It did not give it a lot of. that was not pretty. What happened?
I presume that you utterly destroyed him on the basis that he has 12 main deck fogs, and you went,
Yeah.
don't care, Glimmer of Genius, have some energy, shoot you for 3.
Yeah, that's pretty much
That was
what happened.
that kind
yeah.
of the game? Huh. Okay.
And then, so his plan is to play feathered visions, and fog as much as he can,
Yeah.
and pretty much win with the visions. So
yeah, that's kind of awkward.
and after board he took out all his fogs and I boarded in creatures.
Oh dear.
So he did not fog them too well.
The old switcheroo. Very
Yeah.
good, very good. Now, that said, there are the black-green decks, there are the Mardu vehicle decks that, they want to hit you. They want to make Rishkar and make their Winding Constrictors and make their Verdurous Gearhulks.
Oh, the deck
Fog's really good
the deck
against
is,
that,
The
right?
deck is good against them. It's good against the black green and decks that attack with creatures.
Yeah. Yeah, so would have been good against the black-red of Jose Luis Morales Carretero. If you're just joining us, you've missed Joel Calafel, who won his round 1 match against Jose Luis Morales Carretero. So that's 1-0 for him. This is our last match in the feature match area. It's Tom Harl of England against Holgin Loizaga of Spain. And Harl looking at an opening, we see a Rogue Refiner, see a Whirler Virtuoso. So these two, I think it's fair to say, are the main protagonists this weekend. So what have we got from Loizaga? He's going to scry. And where is that
I
going
think
to go?
that looks like a good hand. That lands Heart of Kirin and Depala.
Right, the Pilot Exemplar. So here we go.
I know. Drab Inspector. This hand is very good.
Right, yeah, he's opened up. He's going to be able to open up pretty fast. Standard turn 1 for Harl potentially is an attune with Ether. But looks like in order to do that, he'll have to use the energy off an Ether Hub if he wants to do it that way. So Ether Hub, energy, tap it for energy, green, attune, go up to 2 energy, and go and fix his mana. I wonder if land attune with Ether is the single most played turn of this tournament. I'm going to guess it is.
And
in for 1 with the Thraben Inspector. And then 2 mana,
Heart of Kirin.
Heart of Kirin.
you've seen Olgin's draw.
No, what's he got?
It's a wide border. I think it's 5th edition. Mountain.
There we are. So
I like
nice,
that.
nice. Obviously, just what he had under the bed when he left the house this morning. servant of the conduit for Hull. So he's actually in pretty decent shape as far as energy is concerned. Here's Depala, though. So Heart of Kieran likely to crew up. Yep, Depala says, I'll crew the Heart. And then in we come.
That's not a dwarf.
No, don't do that.
Even though she's not very tall, it's not a dwarf.
Nice to know that we've reached the eye bleach part of the day in chat. That's excellent. Good.
All right, RF Karen is gone.
Yeah, release the gremlins, or the gremlin, as it so often is.
Attacking, I don't think.
You don't like the attack?
No, because now Depala can attack, and he can't. If Olgin doesn't have anything, he can just attack
and get the free look.
Get the look for and keep the Depala for the next turn. So I'm not. And as we can see, he only has lands in hand, so that's a free attack.
Right, so here comes Depala, and he's pointing to the trigger on that, and going to spend 2.
Oh, he had the shock, so maybe the double block.
There's a scrap heat scrounger there. So that's quite a nice addition to the graveyard.
Yeah, no, but I don't think they go to the graveyard.
Oh, right. Yeah, they're on the bottom, right?
Yeah. Like, at least Tom would have had the read on the shock. I think Olgin has a shock, but if he still attacks, then he has the read. He knows he has a shock or removal. Now he just attacked for 2, and the 2 I don't think 2 damage are very relevant here.
Right.
Same for this attack. That's. Oh well.
So energy goes up to 7 now. So that's enough for 2 1/1 flyers for Hull, which is a decent amount of defense. Needle Spires the draw for Lozaga, who is really starting to flood out pretty badly.
Oh, he didn't have the shock. That was another land.
Yeah, this is not great for Lozaga. That Spire of Industry is turned on at the moment because of a clue, and he's going to activate the Shambling Vents and come on in.
So maybe just make tokens, make 2 Thopters.
Yep.
Double block Shambling Van, maybe. I would probably double block. Yeah, double block.
The thing is, Lower Zaga's all tapped out,
Yeah.
so yeah, and that's exactly where Tom Hull goes. Now, this either means that on this occasion Tom Hull's as good as you, or it means that on this occasion you're as good as Tom Hull. I'm not sure which.
Yeah, well, someone is playing and someone is not, so.
Yeah.
At the moment, he's much better than me.
So Lower Zaga, as I say, really flooding out here. Hull has Will of Virtuoso. He doesn't have enough energy now for more, but the energy is going to go rattling up because here's a Tune with Ether. He's also got Rogue Refiners. And is there a more irritating card in Standard than Rogue Refiner when you're on the other end of it? Because you go, 3 power, that's actually some kind of clock. And you replaced it, so when I shock it, I'm down a card. Oh, and you got 2/3 of a Thopter out of it, or 2 energy to turn your Ether Hubs back on, or it's just...
I think Rogue Refiner is a good card.
I think Rogue Refiner is a very good card, yes.
Yeah, Olgin's play was a little aggressive here. Maybe cashing in on the Depala last turn would have been a little better. Maybe getting a Heart of Kieran or 2.
That's a Spire of Industry there for Holgen.
He's flooding pretty hard too.
Yeah. Now, of course, that does mean that he'll have mana to make Needle Spires. You see, here we go. Double striking. And Tom Hull actually doesn't have much he can do about that. He's got double negate, double refiner.
No, he can make a token block.
Yeah. Which is exactly what he's going to do.
No, he didn't block.
Oh, okay. He just went to 6.
With 2 negates, he's out of range of unlicensed disintegration.
Right.
Tom is playing very aggressively this game. He doesn't have to do much. He can just sit back and play a few things, but he just attacks every. Maybe he's scared of Avacyn.
Oh, okay.
I don't know.
So we're closing in on the end of round one here at Grand Prix Barcelona. We'll be back with live Magic action at the start of round two. Matej Zadelkai will be to my right. Later on in the day, you'll have Riley Knight in this chair, navigating the turgid waters of this standard format. So Harl with both Negate and Harness Lightning up in terms of mana, but only one of them on the next turn. As ST Syndra points out, the uncracked clue may be there because of the Spire of Industries.
He didn't have black without that.
Right.
Because Towers of Industry only produce black if you have an artifact. And that was the only artifact he had.
So Loazaga 8-6 ahead, quote unquote. But you have to think behind. Especially as Harness Lightning, if that's Harl's play, will get him up to 5 energy or somewhere approaching that, depending just what he decides to use. Oh, it looks like we're into turns. Okay. Oh, well, that changes things.
I think he's dead this turn.
You think Hogan's done?
Yeah.
Okay.
If Tom plays Harness Lightning on the Thurb Inspector,
Yep.
gains 1 energy, make a token, that would be 4.
That's what looks
7.
like he's going to do.
He's even like one point
1 point over.
over, yeah. That's 9 damage.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. He's got Negate available. Holgan doesn't have enough mana for Needle Spires.
Actually, maybe I would have kept the extra energy for the negate for the second, because he only has 1 blue.
Right. So, crack the clue
Well, negate
in
up.
search of a shock.
They'll be negated at least once.
Exactly. Free Edgar 1 says GG. Bolt Snap Bolt 1-2 says GG. Tai Lauren says GG. I think they're 3 for 0 on that little exchange. There's the handshake. Tom Harl claims the victory. 2-1. The Brit advances to 1-0. There you see them. The feature match era will gear up for round number 2 in just a little bit. Rich Hagan and Rav Levy have been in your company for round number 1. Rich Hagan and Matej Big-Z Zadelkai will be your companions for round number 2 when that comes along. But for now, we're going to send you off to the Magic Online Championship final as we gradually build our way into the day with 2 full days of 4 Grand Prix segments. We start here in Barcelona, then we're off to New Jersey. Same again tomorrow. We'll see you in a little bit here from Grand Prix Barcelona.